The untold truth of Elvis's last show. I've been wanting to check this out after we saw the Unchained Melody performance at his last show. I didn't even know that was his last show till you guys told me. But apparently he wasn't even supposed to be at that show, but I guess his manager kind of influenced him to do it or something, so we're going to check it out.
Elvis Presley's final concert wasn't meant to be his last. The singer was only 42 years old and was scheduled to go on tour again shortly after his untimely passing. But a lifetime of fried peanut butter, bacon, and banana sandwiches, accompanied by a decades-long indulgence in narcotics, brought the King's...
Narcotics? Were any of you alive when Elvis died? Like, what were the headlines like in the newspaper? Like, was everybody freaking out? I feel like that would have been a big deal.
Career and life to an unexpected end. The last live show that Presley ever performed occurred in 1977. The day was June 26th, a date that kept popping up in Elvis history. It was his manager, Colonel Tom Parker's birthday. Plus, according to Rolling Stone, Elvis was first called to the Sun Records office on June 26, 1954. 3 years to the day after that, he spent his first night at Graceland. On June 26, 1979, Elvis's father died of heart failure. What could it all mean?
It's all connected. A web of conspiracy that goes all the way to the top.
Well, probably not. Regardless, on the night in question, Elvis was on the tail end of an arduous 9-day tour. His last concert would be performed for a packed crowd at the Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. Per the Indiana Historical Bureau, nearly 18,000 people attended, none of whom realized that they were witnessing history. For 7 years, warm-up comedian Jackie Kahane held the unenviable responsibility of getting up on stage before the man known as the King took over. It was no easy job, and he was even booed off the stage at New York City's Madison Square Garden. Kahane's job as Elvis's opening act even dominated the first half of his obituary in the Los Angeles Times when the comedian died in 2001. In it, the Times describes how Kahane's set, formerly a tight 18 minutes, had stretched to nearly 45 as the years wore on, and it took longer for Elvis to get into performance shape each night. That night in Indianapolis, Kahane announced to the crowd, "Elvis looks great and Elvis sounds great." So he may have been a good comedian.
The older Elvis got, like this guy just started Elvis is like, hey man, I need a little longer to get ready tonight. Kind of drag your performance out a little longer.
But he
they
definitely wasn't a prophet. Nevertheless, as Kahane left the stage that night, few could have predicted things would come to an end for the King quite so abruptly. If you're wondering how much it cost to see Elvis Presley on the night of his death, it was only $15 a ticket, or just over $65 in modern dollars.
Okay, 65. I was going to say that's $15 for 77 seems like quite a bit of money. Like, my grandpa was saying he can get bread for like a loaf of banana bread for like 3 cents, something crazy. I'm like, how do you even get the ingredients to make that? $15? What do you say, 18,000 people, 18, what's that, like almost $300,000, $267
for inflation. Even more surprisingly, tickets were,
which would be like,
still available for purchase the evening before the concert, per the Indiana History blog. Quite the bargain for an up-close look at one of the era's defining stars. Aside from Kahane, that evening's opening acts included a brass band and some soul singers. In fact, those openers performed for almost an hour and a half before fans would catch sight of the man they'd all been waiting for. The Indianapolis Star noted that for the Monday evening performance, Elvis had donned the now iconic white and gold jumpsuit, maybe to better facilitate the...
You know, I was at a concert one time, and then it took forever to get to the last act, right? It was like an hour and 30 minutes. The act you go there for. My phone was dead. I didn't get to record it. We like got into the front row because these people gave us their tickets like into the front of the mosh pit. But I didn't get to record any of it because my phone had died by that point. Yeah.
Dance moves.
An hour and a half. I mean, it's worth it for the King, especially as Elvis. But
drove
crazy.
The audience wild.
I'd be so annoyed.
Of particular note to the reviewer, Elvis had limited his karate moves that evening, but nevertheless bounded on stage to kick off the show with a rendition of C.C. Rider, and still threw in a few of his signature leg jerks from his early days. For fans, it was a remarkable performance, especially given how difficult 1977 had been thus far for the King. According to Far Out magazine, Elvis had broken up with a long-term girlfriend, immediately became involved with a new woman, and was so out of it during some earlier performances that journalist Tony Sherman recounted how he'd been nearly impossible to understand.
They couldn't understand. What are narcotics? Narcotics are like...
At an earlier show in Louisiana. Despite
like pills?
That, the King rallied and got things together for that one evening in June.
Or like...
if only briefly. Critical reception for Elvis's final show was decidedly mixed. On the negative side, there was Zach Duncan's review, which called the concert tacky and outdated, with the lighting merely adequate and the extensive use of warm-up acts coming off as fluff.
Okay, warm-up facts, facts. But when you start complaining about the lighting, like, you're just nitpicking, man. You're just trying to find a reason to hate.
Claimed that announcements were made over the PA system 3 times throughout the concert, reminding folks to check out the merch stand, with a voice even taking the extra step of reading the price tags of the available souvenirs. There were also more positive reviews, like the one in the Indianapolis Star, which spent a significant amount of time pointing out that Elvis wasn't as fat as he could have been. Over the course of a 3-hour concert, Elvis spent just an hour and 20 minutes on stage, performing old standards as well as new numbers.
He spent an hour out there. Come on, y'all. Okay, you can't be... He spent an hour and 20 minutes out there at that age? That's insane. Dang, so this performance got a ton of hate. Like, this didn't... People were not happy with it.
A Star, which spent a significant amount of time pointing out that Elvis wasn't as fat as he could have been. Over the course of a 3-hour concert, Elvis spent just an hour and 20 minutes on stage, performing old standards as well as new numbers, including a cover of Simon & Garfunkel's Bridge Over Troubled Water. At the end of the show, Presley brought his father on stage to wave to the crowd, then sang his hit song, Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Afterward, he told the audience, "We'll meet you again. God bless. Adios." And then the show was over, and Elvis left the building for the very last time. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, afterward, he told the audience, "We'll meet you again. God bless.
Like
adios." And then the show was over, and Elvis left the...
Look at that. Is that Diet Pepsi? So people were not, like, did not receive this performance well, but I bet looking back, like, looking at it, it looked pretty sick. Like, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. I think looking back, people's opinions might have changed on this, you know? The last performance has got, like, some mystique around it. Anyways, if y'all have anything else better to watch on this or anything else regarding the King, let me know down below. Like and sub if you like, and I'll see you on the next one.
Get the fuck about my phone with your hating ass. I'm the type to drop a 50 ball and make it back. All this swag I got is custom, you can't pay for that.